Hello and good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining this Collabo OAA webinar. Special thank you to those of you who have joined early to enable us to start right on time. We like to start promptly, so the first few minutes we will jump right into it and show you a few slides about what people say or have said about Collabo. So sit back, relax, so do stay tuned. Good evening once again for those who just joined. What we mentioned earlier was that we're just rolling through a few slides and we will go through the intro slides shortly. Please stay tuned. Thank you. And some people expressed interest in seeing the recording afterwards. So, just for everybody's information, we will be recording it so that we can share it with those who are interested in learning from it. Okay, thanks for your understanding. And team, I hope you've started recording. You can give me a thumbs up if you have. Okay, awesome. Okay, thanks. Oh, I was muted, wasn't I? Okay. Can you confirm that you can hear me? And then I will go right ahead. Alrighty. Okay, you can hear me. Lovely. All right. So thank you very much for joining us tonight. We sent out the word that we're going to be doing a quick demo about Collabo. It depends on where you come from. So basically on the agenda, time is of the essence, so we will go right through it. The first thing is the Collabo highlights, and those were the slides that you saw. Maybe some of them piqued your interest, or maybe you would like some additional information on that later on. But we have a Q&A section, during which you can ask your questions. But we've done the Collabo highlights. Next, we are going to talk about Collabo. What exactly is Collabo? What are the most basic things that you've got to know about? And then we will do a mobile demo from the phone, and we will demonstrate how to use the app. Okay. And then after that, we will take questions. All right, we will dive right into it. So what is the problem that we identified? First one, opacity. Today, I think I mentioned at the annual general meeting that groups, associations, networks, they form the backbone of society, and they usually have to raise funds towards projects or to help somebody or a teacher or a colleague or even for the general administration of the group. But many times when it comes to time to raise the funds, we find that there's all kinds of difficulties that people encounter. Today, the typical way that we do it is that the treasurer will say, okay, we are raising funds for this cause. And then people will say, okay, which number are we using, right? Then the person has to come and publish a phone number. Sometimes if you're not lucky, the people will go and send it to, or maybe they have multiple numbers. They'll send the dues to they'll send the contribution to your dues phone number rather than the project phone number, and on, right? But if you send the contribution to the treasurer, usually you feel like, okay, the money has just left, right? You don't get any kind of acknowledgement or anything like that. So it's almost like you are just sending the money away and then that's it. If you ask most group members how much money do you owe or how much dues do you owe, most of them do not know. They might say, oh, it's been a while since I contributed. Or those who contributed recently will be able to tell you that, oh, I am fully paid up or I am in good standing. So there's a little bit of opacity around the whole structure these days. Second one is that most members, when they make a contribution, they have this innate desire for immediate acknowledgement, right? They want to know that it's been received. And until they see the treasurer come and post, let's say, an updated list on WhatsApp saying that Kofi Menu has contributed this, it's only after they see the list and then they see their name in the list that they know that, okay, it's been acknowledged. And then they can, but sometimes it takes a while. Maybe the treasurer is a busy person. Sometimes maybe the treasurer didn't even receive an SMS message, right? So the treasurer now has to request for a statement from MTN, and it's a long, protracted process. And then finally, complexity. The whole process should be easy, but we find that it is complex because most treasurers have to do this in Excel. It's very time consuming. Don't get me wrong, Excel is a very powerful tool, but it's not necessarily easy to use because if you want to create graphs and things like that are automatic, it is a very tedious process. I myself have assisted with collating contributions before, and one person told me that I noticed that your leaderboard or the report always comes after midnight. Why is that? It's because it takes a lot of time to put it all together. Okay, so these are some of the challenges that a lot of groups and executives encounter. So what does Collabo offer? Transparency. What we find is that transparency builds trust, and trust builds community. As people are on the Collabo app and then they see contributions come in, it speaks volumes to them. They're able to see that, oh, okay, that person has made a contribution. Or even when they make a contribution, they're able to see that it has been logged, right? They're able to see it live and colored. And that whole transparency also can say, says to the group members that this is how much has been raised so far, that is the target, and on and on. So there's transparency. Next one is that it's real time. You get that real time acknowledgement. So you don't have members chasing you, the treasurer, asking you, have you received the money? Have you received the money? Because once they make their contribution into the app, it is registered there for everybody to see, and then that's your immediate acknowledgement. And then finally, the app is designed such that eighth graders can use it. It's very easy, it's very intuitive. The biggest number one feedback we keep getting is that it's very easy to use. We like to think that that's the case because we intentionally made it like that. We wanted it to be easy. We tried some other tools out there and they were not easy to use. And we made it such that eighth graders should be able to use it, or much older alumni who wants to be generous. We made it simple enough so that they can make those so that they can use the app easily. All right. So a very quick run through the app itself. What does it look like? What is the layout like? I'll start off with the picture on the left-hand side, and I like to just pause for a second to talk about the logo. It depicts like a piggy bank. If you know, the way people use piggy banks is that they will put their coins or their money in it over a period of time, and then let's say at the end of the year, around Christmas or whenever, they will break it, and then it's like, surprise, this is how much money you've raised. But not so with Collabo. You see that it's transparent. That's like the number one key thing for us. So that as person A is putting money in, everyone else can see how much is coming in. We will talk a little later about anonymity and other associated features which we have put into the app, so that if you wish for your privacy to be respected, we've made provision for those. Okay, so that's the transparent money box, transparent susu box, transparent piggy bank, you want to call it. All right, when you log into the app, you will be sent to your home page, and on the home page you will see your list of groups. Okay, so if you click on any of these groups, like if I click on this top one here, then it opens up the group page and shows me the list of collabos. So we find that some people sometimes confuse a collabo with a group, but I think as you use the app, you will understand why we structured it like this. Some people think, oh, okay, let me form a group for this person's wedding, but rather it is a group of friends, and then within the group of friends, you create a collabo for one person's wedding. When the second person is going to get married, you create another collabo for that second person going to get married, and so on and so forth. So in this example here, you see that this Ashesi University 2020 year group has a classroom blog project collabo, school bus project collabo, and on and on. So as new projects or courses come up, the admin can click on this create a new collabo button. Members cannot see this button, but admins can. They'll click it and then they create a new collabo, and then everybody can then send in their contributions. Okay, so that's the general layout. If you are familiar with Windows folders, you open one folder, it goes, let's say you open your HR folder, and then you open the payslips folder. That's how it's structured. So it's a familiar layout. Okay, and then on this page, starting from the left to the right, I already showed you what the group page looks like. If you click on any of the collabos, then it opens up the dashboard for that collabo. And the dashboard is one of the things we are most proud of, because it is designed based on the most popular questions that people ask in a contribution setting, right? Okay, if you look on the right side, the most common questions that people ask include how much has been raised so far, right? And if you look in here, you see that we have two different quadrants. We call them quadrants. The top one is the Collabo summary quadrant, which tells you all the statistics you need for the entire group. And the bottom one tells you the statistics you need for you, the person who has logged in. So my summary. So in this example here, this is monthly dues. how much has been raised? I can see that so far 11,592 has been raised. Okay, there are some instances, I think I should just chip this in. The admin can actually hide this raised amount if they wanted to by just going to the settings. Because in some instances, maybe you don't want fatigue to set in, you don't want people to know how much has been raised so far. You can hide it, that's up to you, right? And then that will encourage people to continue to give. We found that there's that use case, and therefore we added that. What's the total target? So you see that the target is over here in the top right corner, 20,000 in this example. And so the deficit then tells you how much more you have to go. It's just the difference between the target and the raised amount. So you can always see how much more you have to go. You also see a count of the number of people who have contributed. Okay, so if I make four contributions, it will only register one because I am one contributor. Okay, next question. How much have I contributed so far? So if you were curious about that, then you can just come down here. That's your summary. So in this case here, you see that it shows that I have contributed 1,020 CDs. That's how much I've contributed so far. And then next question, since when? Okay, so in this type of Collabo, you see that if it's a recurring Collabo, it will tell you when we started those contributions. So if it is 1st January 2009, for instance, it will tell you. It will show you that that's when we started. So if you create your Collabo, you might, if it's dues, you might start it from 1st January of 2024, and then maybe everybody owes 20 CDs, and so that will be the starting date, 1st January 2024. So in this case, you see that the target to date is 1,200, which means that since that start date, as of today, this is how much you owe. And in this case, because I've contributed 1,020 and the target is 1,200, then I still have 180 more to go. So if I wanted to just settle my balance, I can see the outstanding amount, then I can just click and contribute. And the next question, when is the deadline? So the next due date is here, 31st March 24 in this example. In other Collabos where it is one time, if we set the deadline to, let's say, the end of September, that's what people will see here. So these are the popular questions that people keep calling you to ask you as a treasurer. When are we contributing? When are we doing this? All of that information is here. People can just log in and check it very quickly and very easily. I think I should also chip in this, that in the information age, we are in the information age right now, it is a little painful that when people want to find out how much they contributed, they now have to call somebody and then the person has to check a spreadsheet. And we are in a time when people ask ChatGPT, wouldn't it be cool if you could say, ChatGPT, how much dues do I owe? Well, guess what? ChatGPT won't be able to tell you how much you owe, but Collabo will be able to tell you how much you owe. That's a terrible dad joke, by the way. So, how do I make a contribution? Okay, so how do I make a contribution? So I mentioned earlier on that many times there will be contributions maybe for a wedding, there will be another contribution for a funeral, there will be another contribution for dues, and people get confused. And it happens that a contribution that they meant for a particular thing, they will send it to the wrong Momo number. But with Collabo, one of the things you don't have to ask again is, where do I need to send the money? Why? Because we just have a plus button here. Once you've gone to the group and you've gone to the right Collabo, right? You just check the name. You click on the plus button, and when you make the contribution, you are sure that your contribution is going to be going to the Momo number that the treasurer has linked to the Collabo. So it's either a Momo number or a bank account. So if it's your year group, you have a Fidelity, EcoBank, CalBank bank account. You can link it to the Collabo. So you see that at the top of the page here, it says set up destination account. So that set up destination account is visible to admins or the treasurer. Maybe this is a good opportunity to mention that every group has one treasurer. So the treasurer has superpowers. They can do a lot of things. But assisting the treasurer are admins. So the treasurer can select members to become admins, and the admins can help the treasurer to do stuff. And then there's the members. So the admin or the treasurer can click on set up destination account, and then it will take them through a series of very simple steps, which I will show when we get to the demo. And they can link their Momo number. And then after they link their Momo number, then people can start making contributions. If you've not set up a destination account, then nobody will be able to contribute. Okay, and then finally, where does the money go? I think I've answered that one. It goes to whatever account the treasurer or admin has linked to that particular collab. Who else has contributed? So if you want to know who else has contributed, there's a list at the bottom of the page. This is a screenshot, so you won't be able to see that. But if you scroll down, you'll see the list of recent contributions. What we typically do these days on WhatsApp is the treasurer will painstakingly write everybody's name, how much they've contributed, right? And then they will come and paste it on WhatsApp. And then when there's a new contribution, they add the name of the new contributor at the bottom of the list. With Collabo, we just show the latest contributor at the top. So you just need to come in and then you see the most recent contributions at the top. It's more convenient that way. All right, and you can even export the recent contributions over to WhatsApp if you wanted to do that. And if you did that, then those who are on WhatsApp who haven't yet downloaded the app will be able to see the recent contributions. Can I pay in dollars? So Collabo allows you to record contributions in other currencies as well. When you set up the Collabo, it will ask you what currency do you want to use. Do you want it to be CDs or do you want it to be dollars? We can transact in CDs only though. But if you wanted to record, let's say somebody gave you $100 cash, the treasurer can make a manual entry and they will record that there was 100 USD contribution that was made. Or it can be any currency at all you want. And then there's also a section where you enter the exchange rate. So you can put the exchange rate in there and then it will automatically calculate. So let's say for the 100 USD example, if we use a 15 conversion rate, then what it will do is that it will convert it into 1,500 CDs, and then it will add that 1,500 CDs to the raised amount. Okay, hopefully that makes sense. But it will show down here that the person contributed 100 USD. Very useful if you get contributions from abroad and things like that. For those, you can contribute with Momo. You can also contribute with Visa. Okay, so for those making international transactions, they can also make Visa, and then it will send the money to the Momo account that's been set up to the Collabo. Okay, I took it a little slow with my explanation, but hopefully that wasn't too painstaking. All right, and the reports. So the reports is yet another thing that we are most proud of about the app. It automatically generates leaderboards for you. Okay, when you create your group, it will ask you, do you want to set up subgroups? And so you can do Clark House, Agri House, Kingsley House, and all the other up to the 18 houses that we have. Or you can just skip. If you skip the creation of the subgroups, though, you won't be able to get leaderboards, right? Because the software will not know what subgroups you have. But like I said, when you're creating the group, and I'll show that in a demo. But the cool thing is every time a new contribution comes in, the leaderboard gets updated, right? So you can see, maybe if you see Clark House is in the lead and you are jealous, your generous self can just pump in, can just send in some 5K to upset the scale. Oh, you can send in a major contribution to upset the scale. And then the other cool thing is that if you click on any of these houses, right, then it opens up a breakdown so you can see. This is some old data, it's not up-to-date information at all, it's just sample data that we took a snapshot of. So if you click on it, then it will show you who the lead contributors are. And if you click on any of them, then it shows you even another drill down. So let's say there's a Sandra here. If I click on Sandra, maybe she's giving 3,000 is what it shows here. Maybe she gave 3 installments of 1,000. You'll be able to see those 3 installments. Okay, so it's in terms of reconciliation, in terms of account. So people are not going to be hassling you as the treasurer anymore because all their contributions are there. Okay, and then the other thing you can also do is you can toggle the view. So instead of looking at leaderboards, now you can look at every single person in the group and how much they've contributed versus how much more they have left. Okay, and we put a green star whenever somebody is in good standing. When there's an individual target, let's say 4,000, and then the person has contributed that 4,000 or more, then they get a little green star to say, hey, you're in good standing. Okay. All right, last 2 slides. Who can use Collabo? So we designed it primarily for alumni groups. And Collabo is best suited for groups that are together, right? So if it's just a random group of people who just met for the first time, You could still set up a group for them, but it's like I said, it's designed for year groups and people who are together. So maybe a church choir. You see church groups, church welfare groups. We do Monday bonds, Friday bonds, neighborhoods and gated communities. I mean, a gated community, we use Collabo to track our contributions. And families, or maybe it could be you and your spouse. You can track contributions in here. And the reason why I mention it is because we have a new feature that's coming, which is expenses feature. So while you are tracking how much you are chipping in, or it could be even you and your business partner, right? So if it's two of you, you can track how much each person is contributing, and then on the expenses tab, you can also track how much you are expending, right? So you can see how much money went into transportation, how much went into catering, and so on. Group road trips, sports clubs, office welfare groups, and on, right? Once you know how the app works, you can then use it, tailor it to your need. And so, yes, Collabo is all about building community. As people come together, they say where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Whereas people are putting in their money into things, they tend to want to see it succeed. We have this WhatsApp number for if anybody has any questions, any extra support they need, they can always WhatsApp that number, and then we have service people who will respond to you. Okay, so that's the quick slides. Next, I'm just going to log in with my phone, and then I'll just show a few examples of how to actually do things on the live app. And then after that, we can take questions. Okay. So let me log in. To my phone. Okay. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen. So at the bottom of the screen, you can see the Collabo icon there. I have 9 notifications currently that I haven't opened. Can you confirm you can see my phone screen? And then I will continue. Okay, lovely. So I've opened the phone app. Okay, lovely. So you can see in this example, I have a group, which is the core testers group. I have OAA 99. I'm not going to open that group. It has some live information. I have this landlords association. There's one here, demo for asset bank. Basically, it's just a group where we have loaded the information that was recently published, right? So if, for instance, what was shared at the AGM, if you wanted to take a look at it, you could just come into the Interhouse Fund and then click on reports, and then you will see that same information. You remember that Stofford House was in the lead with 103K, Fraser House, and all the other houses are here, right? So if you set up your group, you could set it up like this very easily. Like I said, you can click on it and drill down, but that is accessible to admins. If the admins want other people to see, then they can go into the settings and Collabo settings, and then choose allow members to view cumulative reports, like other reports, and then they'll be able to also drill down. Okay, so this is what has been shared so far, so I'm just giving you a glimpse of that. And then just one more example here, OAA year groups. So also the OAA year groups, it was published recently. We know all the year groups that have contributed, right? So if I were to click on it and I go to reports, for instance, then I can see which year groups have contributed, right? 76, 2000, and if the year group is showing up here, it means you don't have anything. All right. Another good example, if let's say we wanted to create a collabo for NSMQ, we could create a collabo like that. This is just an example to show how that would work, right? So then people would just click on it. Nothing is linked. It's not linked to any Momo number right now, but I'm just showing it. So you can imagine that year group reps, year group people who want to donate towards the NSMQ could easily come here. They can click on the plus button, select in-app payments. Okay, it tells me in-app payment disabled. In-app contribution is disabled. The treasurer must set up a destination account, like I was explaining. Yeah. All right. Eunice, you want to say something? I see your mic is unmuted. Or maybe not. I don't. Okay. So if let's say I'll do a quick demo how to create a group. Let's say we have a teacher or whoever we've had in the past. Let's say teachers we wanted to help. Let's just do for a demo here. Let's say we have I'll just call the person Mr. Boating that we want to help. Okay. Or we want to support or want to show our appreciation for Mr. Boating appreciation. Hey, I don't know how to spell appreciation. Yeah, that's it. Right? So what I'm showing right now is how to create a collabo. I can go to currency and select Ghana cedis. We'll make it one time. Let's say we want the money by the end of this month. So that will be the due date that everybody will see. And then for the collabo target, we can leave it blank. Or we can put an amount in there just to let people know, right? So let's just say we put 50K there, just as an example. And then individual targets. Normally people will give what they want to give, but if you wanted to say everybody should give at least 100, you can also put 100 there. All right, so that's it. We have put in the details for the collabo. So I go next, and you can see many different people in the group. At the top here, you see that it says select which group members can see this collabo. So while every member of the group could potentially see this collabo you're about to create, you can restrict who can have access to it. Right? By default, you can see that it says all group members, right? So I can click on it and choose one of the other settings. I can choose restricted, in which case only admins and the treasurer will see, or I can choose a specific subgroup. So if I choose a specific subgroup, then I can year group in this case, or a house, right? But I'll leave it on all group members for this example, and then I'll say complete. So just like that, I have created a new collabo. So that's what you see there, Mr. Boating appreciation. All right. So if anybody came into the group, so anybody who wanted to join this group, for instance, will need to be invited. Okay. So if I go to members, I can invite a new member. You see that it says add new member. So I can enter the person's number here if I don't want to save the person's number in my contact, or I can click on the contacts and then add the person from my phone book. All right. One of the things Collabo allows you to do is you can customize the name. Sometimes you save the person's name on your phone a certain funny way, or the person will join the app with a funny name, but you as the treasurer have the ability to put in the name that everybody knows, right? So let's say I think you get the idea. You put in the first name, you put in the last name, and then you select the subgroup. Okay. Even if you're not sure what the subgroup is, you can just select any subgroup at all. So let's just say 1974, and then you add the person. When the person is joining the group later on, they'll be asked to confirm what their year group answer is. So at that point, they can correct it. That's not an issue. All right. So that's it for adding members. And then if I wanted to, that's how to create a collabo, how to add a member. If I go to reports page right now, it will be blank because we've not made any contributions. But I'm sure one of the things that people are curious about is how to make a contribution. So let me explain that one. Like I said, in order for us to start making contributions, if I go in-app payments, it's not going to allow me, right? Because nothing is enabled. No destination account has been set up yet. So I'm going to go through the process of setting up a destination account just so you see how it goes. It's quite simple. At the top of the page, I'm going to click on set up destination account. I'll say direct to treasurer because we want the money to go to the treasurer in this case. And then when you come to the destination account page, right now there's nothing set up, but we can click on add a destination account. In this example, let me just add a Momo number. I'm going to use my friend in team as the example. So let's say I select MTN, I'll say 024430. He's one of the few people whose phone numbers I have memorized. So yeah, so I can say next. When you say next, it will give you a prompt. So you see Kojo in team, it tells you that is the, so if it was bank details I put in, that will pop up on the screen to confirm for you that is this really the destination account you want to set up. So in this case, it is the destination account I want to set up. So I'll say proceed. Okay. So you see that now it says that it is pending approval. So that's going to go through some checks. It takes less than 48 hours to be approved. Usually it is quick. I just said 48 hours to say that that's like worst case scenario. But usually the same day it will be approved. So it is selected. I can go next. So it says successfully linked destination accounts to the Collabo. So right now, while it is not approved, I cannot make a contribution. But to make a contribution, I'll go to another Collabo where let's say there's a destination account already set up, and then so let's use this one here which says live payment demo. This one also doesn't have a destination account set up. Okay, let me go to one that has let me just use this one here called welfare contributions. As you can see, the raised amount right now shows 615, which means any contribution I make will be added on top of the 615, right? 615. So let's, I'm going to click the plus button in the bottom right corner, and then I'm going to click in-app payments. I want to do a demo. So let's just say I want to contribute, say, 21 CDs, 35 pesos. All right. I can select to contribute for myself, so I say self, or I can actually contribute for someone else. Right, so even if the person is not on the app, I can contribute for them. So, like in the top right corner, you see there's a plus button in the top right corner. I can click on that, and then I can add people who are not even on the app yet, and then I can make a contribution for them. So those are just resources that are available, but ideally the people should join the app and then make the contribution for themselves. So in this case, I'll just choose self to make the contribution for myself. I can put in notes. Let's say initial deposit or something, and then I can say next. But let me quickly show you more options. If I didn't want anybody to see my name as I'm contributing, I can go more options and then I can hide my name. In that case, only the admins will see my name, but the members will see the word anonymous. All right, it's as simple as that. Or if I want everybody to see my name that I've also contributed something, I can hide the amounts. So you have that flexibility to do that. Maybe some people are too shy. Maybe the amount they are giving they feel it's not enough, so they want to hide the amount. So they can always do that. In this example, I will just choose show both. I'll choose the default. So I go next. All right. So on this page, you see that it shows me that I'm trying to contribute 21 CDs and 35 pesos. The fee for this is 44 pesos. The total charge will be 21.79. I'm contributing for myself. I'm contributing to the welfare contributions. In this particular example, the destination account that's set up is my name and my EcoBank account. So that's what you see here. So this is also useful for members who are making the contribution, because then it reassures them that the contribution they are going to make is going to this destination account that they see, right? So if it was your year group's account, then that's what will show up over here. And then finally, you need to set up the payment method. All right, so you won't see any Vodafone Cash or anything here because it will be your first time if you're logging in which case you can click add payment method, and then it will give you the interface for putting in your payment details. So in my case, I'll just select my MTN Momo number. Okay, so I'm going to click make payments, and then it's going to give me a prompt. I'm going to enter my my PIN, and then it will charge the account. I'll just stop sharing for a split second, enter my PIN, and then I will come back. Okay, just for security reasons. So let's see. So I'm going to say make payments. You can still see my screen. It says complete transaction. So MTN then sends me, it says authorized payment of 21.79 from the account pay stack for Collabo, and then it says enter your PIN. So how do I stop sharing? Oh, it won't even allow me to stop sharing. So 1 second, I will just boot myself off. It's not even. Am I able to put myself off? Let me see. Or maybe team, you can do that for me. Okay, you get the idea. You enter your PIN. Everybody's familiar with this particular interface. When you enter your PIN, it's going to go through. So let me just stop sharing and then I will do that again and then you will see how it will go. Alright? Let me do that quickly again and then I'll come right back. Verify. Okay, it's brought me the prompt again. I'm entering my PIN and then I've hit send. So it's also asking me, do you want to approve the transaction like you know with MTN Momo? So I say yes, and then I entered the incorrect PIN. Sorry, let me do that again. Okay, let me do that again. Send. Do you want to approve? Yes, I do. Okay, this time I entered the correct PIN. So let me just go back to sharing again. So that you see where it was. Share screen. Continue. Okay, so I'll go back. Okay, so after I made the payment, this is where it brought me to. It said payment successful, and then it said I've contributed 21.35. So when I go down, if I refresh, the raised amount was 615. Now it has updated to 636. And you can see, okay, you see the previous attempts I made are grayed out. The first one, I think I didn't enter the pin early enough. The second one, I entered the wrong pin, but you can see the third one over there. So that's it. If I tap on it, it shows me that the contribution has gone through. So the payment services provider that we work with is called Paystack. They process the payments within a day, right? So then the money will be deposited to the destination account the very next day. All right, but as you can see here, it has been acknowledged, and this is the contribution, and then we can see what the total is. If somebody gave me cash, so let me just do that one example very quickly. If somebody gave me, let's say 100 USD, I can just click on the plus. I can record it manually. So let's say, let me click on the drop down. I'll change the currency to USD. What is the USD rate these days? Let me just make it 16 for shege reasons. I should make it 20. By the time we reach December, we know what the rate will be. So anyway, I've entered 16 for easy calculations. And then let's say I enter 100 USD. So you see that it tells me that the equivalent amount is going to be 1,600 Ghana cedis. That's going to be added. Okay. So in this case, let's say it was in team again who in team, you're not in this group, or how is your name saved? Okay, there. So if I select his name, I can, let's say he gave me 100 USD, I can say cash received at church or something. Or, yeah, exactly. And then I can, let's say it was on Sunday at church, so I can change the dates for reconciliation reasons. So I can change the dates. For this example, let's say he wants to hide his name, so I can just choose hide name. Done. Next. Almost done. Yes, there are transaction charges. I will answer that one in a little bit. And then I say make entry. And then done. So you can see on the screen, you see that in Team Boating Laser, you see that his name has a line through it. That tells you that that information is normally not visible. It's not visible to members, but to admins can see that. So at least it's an indication or reassurance to you that the information is not displayed to members. They will see the word anonymous over there. Okay. To answer your question, yes, if when you make an in-app payment, there's a fee. 2.04%. Currently, that's the fee. As we get more people on board, we are going to be able to reduce that fee, right? But we are encouraging many more people to use the fee. Hopefully that answers to use the app. Hopefully that answers your question. So I think I've shown how to create a Collabo. The last one I will do is how to create a group. So people are wondering how to create a group. How do you create a group? For that, I'm going to switch over to to the test app because I don't want to create a fake app in the live. So I'm going to close this one and then I'm going to open the test app and then I'll just create a group. But it's the same kind of thing. So this is what we use for testing. So here I can click on the plus button and you see that there's multiple options. I can click create a group or I can join a group because when your members come onto the app, they will see a blank screen, right? They won't see any groups. So they can click on the plus and then they can join via group code, sorry. Or at the top of the page, you see a search button. They can tap on that and then they can search for your group. So your group will only show up in the search results if you've made your group a public group. By default, all groups are private, right? It's like WhatsApp. You can't just go onto the WhatsApp app and then go and join somebody's group unless unless you share a link with them and all that. You can also share links with people and then they can click on it. But let me just do a quick search. I can't remember which. I think the core testers. Okay, there you go. So our core test group there is public. So in this case, it shows up in the results. The people can click on it. Sorry, I'm already a part of the group, so it opens up the group for me. But if it was someone who didn't already belong to the group, when they click on it, it will show them an interface and ask them and give them the opportunity to click to join the group, if that makes sense. Yeah, okay. But if you have any group you don't want to show up in the search results, just keep it private and then no one will be able to access it. All right. So if it's OAA 2000 and something, you make it public, your group members can easily come here and find it. So sorry, I wanted to allow at least 10 minutes for questions. So let me quickly finish this. How do you create a group? Let's say we want to call our group what? Alumni 1999. You can add it. Okay, so here's where you can make it public. But for this example, I'll keep it the way it is. I'll keep it private. You can also set up your picture for this demo. I'll just skip that, but it's a good idea to set up your picture, okay? And then on the final page, it will ask you, do you want to set up subgroups? If you remember, what I mentioned was, if you want leaderboards, then you have to configure subgroups. So you can choose, let's say, house, and type in the names of your houses, or you can choose, if it's like for an office group. Okay, this is a year group, so you will most likely be interested in houses. So you pick house, and then you can type in the names of the house. Just agree, and you add it, and so on, right? Livingston, what are the other houses? Clark. Okay, so they appear here. So these are the possible answers. I can add the others later. So for now, let's just go with these 3 examples. I can say next. And that's it. I have created a group. Okay. There's an error. That's unexpected. Okay, my test app is misbehaving. Okay. I can do the same example again in the live group, but like I said, it's not. I don't want to create any fake any demo groups in the live app. But basically, after clicking that, it should create the group for you. Okay, I don't know why that's happening. Let me just quickly do the same thing here. Alumni group. Alumni group. I called it 1999 actually. Let me do that. And then I say next. House. Let me add agree. Let me add another house. Jump fee. Okay, it better work this time. When I click next. Oh, it's not working. I don't know why that's happening, but I will sort it out immediately after here. Okay. I have done many demos as people will attest to, and this has not happened before, but yeah, that's true. But yeah, we will sort it out immediately after here. But basically that's it. Those are all the things that we wanted to show. Are there any questions from anybody? We'll open the floor for questions at this point. sure there are lots of questions unless we answered all of them.
Okay, I can see a question in the chat. How does Collabo deal with names which are the same? That is, people with similar names. Will Collabo flag it as a duplicate? Um, no, not at all. So the primary identifier on Collabo is your phone number. So long as the people have different phone numbers, it doesn't matter. The name is not a primary identifier. So there could be multiple.
Yeah, the unique identifier is the phone number, yes. Okay, so even if it's multiple names, that's okay. You'll be able to have multiple people in the same group with multiple names. That's not an issue at all. Okay.
Okay, any more questions? You can put it in the
Or you can unmute
chat,
yourself as well if you would
you
like.
can unmute